You got some new content added. Hello, guys. Speaking of new content,
Hey, segue. Or Sega
well
Nakanoa.
timed.
Yeah.
Whee!
Oh god, I'm just gonna keep coughing in this one.
What was that?
Anakin, good, Anakin, good.
Coughs versus the world.
Yes.
Yes, see, you need to breathe. The cough. Let your cough flow through you.
What, is this episode 21?
Fuck. The answer to... No, it's 42. Shit, never mind.
The answer to life.
Everything in the universe.
And all Gallifreyans. This will either be a really short one, or
Somehow. Yeah.
we'll just record the second part tomorrow.
Well, no, because I'm
No.
at work.
Oh, well.
Hello, Sainsbury's. I'm out. Yeah, I'm going to be there tomorrow night.
You named them. You're not meant to do that.
I mean...
Say something.
Asda.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
It's Asda's. Everyone loves a good Asda's. Says nobody.
Nobody ever. Nobody. Nobody wants it. Nobody. Yeah. Episode 21 of this shite. If you're still listening, then
Thank you.
that one guy or girl who's still listening.
See the cough.
So dying.
See, this is George's symbiote. Screw Venom. His symbiote is called cough.
Eddie. Pussy like them. Pussy. Take a touch of chocolate. I am George. That's
George White.
yes. Junior Henry Jones Jr. Remember dog Indiana. You're Connor. Still,
Yeah, I think,
Matt's still
Jesus.
dead.
Saying that, he's randomly messaged me yesterday. I don't know what for, but he was asking if I was free tomorrow for the first.
Oh yeah,
No
because
clue
he's like filming his cousin's wedding.
Oh.
Not cousin, sister. Fuck.
Ah.
Yeah.
I didn't really ask why. I was like, sorry, mate, I'm out tomorrow. I'm working. Sorry.
For monies.
Sorry, mate.
What time are you working till tomorrow?
7. And then this dude's at 7:30.
Oh.
So
I go do. Copyright.
fucking Christmas trees.
Yeah.
I don't give a
Christmas
fuck
is
about
just
my
around the
Christmas
corner.
trees.
December is tomorrow.
It is. I mean, I don't know. If I was like a couple years younger, I would have said it was great. But working in retail, I don't fucking know if I want to say it's good.
I like Christmas, I just don't like the lead up. I'll still enjoy Christmas Day.
Oh yeah, who doesn't? Like, even if it's not.
Fucking you're owning as Boba.
Oh,
Now you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. I totally own it. I fucking
Yeah,
hate playing
Obi-Wan's-
this
yeah.
prick.
Obi-Wan
Anyway.
Kenobi, he's out now, because we talked about that. I don't know what episode was it, last week?
Must have been.
He's out now, so it's double XP.
Ewan McGregor himself is.
So we're just going to be, if you hear tappy tap, just beat him through it, because I
know
need the
that.
last achievement. And then,
It's level 50.
yeah,
that is your
level
last
50. I'm level 37 at the moment. But at the rate it goes up, not long now. Because I didn't realise that the thing had started, because apparently it
Oh,
said
it's
on
like-
Wednesday that it started. So I was like, oh, I've already lost 2 days, so...
Yeah, I only knew when you
Yeah, another level up.
That's something.
Keep going.
Fucking hell, see, this is why I don't
Jesus
play it.
Christ.
Papa shit. But I hate
Our
George
previously
McGregor.
mentioned Harry Potter special will be
Oh.
next week,
Special.
because I still haven't seen Crimes of Grindelshite,
Oh.
but I'm seeing it tomorrow, so it's fine. Yeah,
Hey.
yes.
You're seeing it. Wait, so we're going to cinema tonight. You're seeing it again tomorrow.
No, we've seen Creed today.
What? We're going to cinema again, and then you're seeing it tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we're going to cinema twice.
Yeah, well, I'm going to see Wreck-It Ralph on Sunday as well.
Gee, what the fuck?
If you want to come,
What time are you thinking of going?
like R4.
Oh, I'm working in that shit. I
Jesus.
finish at 7.
Finish at 7 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Poor, I'm off, so it's fine.
Um,
Because now I have unlimited.
Hey!
Because I've realised how many films are coming out in December that I need to see and didn't want to end up paying so much money for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Because
like
there's a lot of shit.
Spider-Man, say Creed.
I thought you were going to sing the song then, because you're like, Spider-Man, Aquaman,
Does whatever
Fishy can.
Stanley can.
Apparently Aquaman's really good.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah,
for DC.
right, yeah. There is hope for you at all.
Yeah.
Who's the head of DC? Kevin Feige against... I don't know who that-
Fegging Kylie. It's his cousin.
Stan Feige.
Devin Wiley.
Devin Wiley.
I don't know. Jesus Christ, lad, I just ate shit.
No, don't lie. No,
Did
no.
you land? You'll be fine.
No.
Hello, Penny. So this is going to be a bit of a mashy, little messy ep, but
Yeah, rushed it.
it'll probably be really short.
Makes a change. It gives less headache for you guys to listen to, so.
We're experimenting with the format. We're Series 11. So we'll obviously talk about Witchfinders. You have a rant that you want to get into about the season 18 box set. That's still to come.
Doctor Who Blu-rays are officially fact.
We'll get into that because news broke today. We make jokes about Disney and all that stuff and how they're taking over the world.
Well, this ain't a joke. Fuck you, Disney.
Yeah, and streaming services. The war has started.
It really has. I thought they were supposed to be friends a couple years ago.
But it's really kicking off. And so in recent weeks we've had the cancellations of Luke Cage and Iron Fist, which a lot of people are like, yeah, it's a shame we're not going to see those stories carry on, but at the same time we're still, it wasn't greatly received, we'll say.
No.
But they've pulled the plug on the granddaddy of MCU Netflix shows and quite possibly, one of the best shows
On there.
Yeah. Probably not the best of all time. It's bloody amazing, though.
It is. And
Daredevil is no more.
yeah, what the fuck?
Did you finish season 3? No.
That's how I genuinely haven't been off, so I haven't had the time to watch it. And I was going to watch some
You've got to make
before
time.
tonight. I really
Go on, kill Lando. There you
I
go.
really fucking do.
That's
There
it.
might be some hope, but I'll
Yeah.
go off into it off camera.
Yes. Some hope of what? You
No,
watching
me
it?
being off. No,
Oh.
yeah, me being off, potentially.
Oh, okay. Why, have you killed someone? No.
Supposed not to tell them that.
Okay.
People might be listening.
Oh, okay. For me, Daredevil season 3 was... Daredevil was the first one I watched, obviously, because it's the first one that came out. Duh. Idiot. But that's what got me into...
I thought it was Cloak and Dagger.
But that's what got me into, just binging shows. And that's the first, I binged that whole season in, a weekend. As did most people. I did it in a day. Fuck
I
myself.
really can't see people doing that. I would love to physically try, but I'd get, not bored, but I got a life in between.
I've got life in between, but I make time.
Yeah.
Time. I did, season 3 in, a day and a half.
Did you really?
Yeah, because it was that good. Because it just kept, every time I was I should probably go to bed, then it was oh... see what happens.
I think I saw the end of episode 3 or 4.
Oh, you've got a long way to go.
I know.
What are your feelings so far on Daredevil season 3?
I enjoy it, but it's just with most of these Netflixy things, I say it's kind of good that they come once every few months, or let's say once a year. But being Daredevil, Jessica, Iron Fist, all of them. At the beginning, it's always a bit of a grind. At the beginning.
Well, there's always
as soon as you get to 5
there?
or 6 and 7 or 8 even, that's when it gets holy shit. You must watch.
I find it all normally starts good with intrigue, and then there's always a bit of a lull in the middle, and then picks up again at the end.
Yeah. Or in the case of Luke Cage, got really fucking good at the beginning, had a bit of something in the middle,
And then
just
limp towards the end.
killed the intrigue in the third, 3/4 way through, and in the end was just a bit of a I have to watch it now because I'm committed to it. So sorry, Luke, but you were cool.
I like Luke Cage. I'm on season 2 of that, enjoying that at the moment. But yes, all for nothing because they come out and said that season 4 of Daredevil is no more, which is a shame, especially where season 3 ends, and it being the strongest by far of all of the Marvel Netflix TV shows. And it's just a shame that I don't remember the person's name on Twitter who said that being in the writer's room today, finding out you're getting cancelled when you've mapped out the whole of season 4, which now we won't get to see, or will we? Because I think this is the next step of Disney in their war with Netflix, because obviously I think they're just gathering their characters back and they're preparing them for either to put them on Disney Plus.
The DC invasion that we've been waiting for.
It's either,
Somehow.
yeah, so I think they're either going to put them on the streaming service or maybe
Yeah.
would they put them in the MCU proper? Actually have them in the films? Because I feel like they're building towards more connectivity by having these
icons.
Because I think you can't waste Charlie Cox.
No, I mean,
My God, he's amazing.
he's an actor. He's an actor and a half.
He is an actor. He is an actor. Can confirm.
No, he is an actor and a half. Like, he seems like such a cool guy out of it as well.
Yeah.
Seeing him in interviews and whoa, Jesus. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah, he's just seeing him and then just watching him. It's just like, whoa, two different.
He can play the most convincing blind man I've ever known.
Yeah, genuinely, yeah.
Like,
And
you believe
I've
it?
met a couple blind people and like, yeah,
Have
he
you?
probably does a better fucking job.
Have they met you?
No.
Satire. But it's just like, and he sort of was really sort of embedded himself in everything. He was very, well read up on the character. He took it seriously, even though like it wasn't a big movie thing. But he still was like, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna do all the hard
Put
work.
my heart and soul into it.
The heart and soul and the feelings. Shut your feelings, Luke. You know it to be true.
Yeah, no, it's a shame though, because the only thing I saw was that it was a big sort of thank you letter for the show because it ended up on a high, and they sort of said they're happy that they've ended it on a high because it will be on. I think I read it will be on Netflix for a good few years, or whatever. And then they wanted to thank Charlie Cox being so good in it and just the show and the whole Netflix MCU, whatever you want to call it, the Netflix universe. That will obviously now be transferred over to Disney. But they did say that Daredevil, for whatever reason, they said Daredevil will be used in future Marvel properties. But I don't know whether they're talking about Charlie Cox Daredevil in future thingamajigs.
No, they have to be, surely.
They're just saying Daredevil, we'll be back. But I hope
Daredevil will return.
Charlie Cox, if you're listening, please come back. Do whatever you got to do. Get on Kevin Feige. Get in Kevin Feige's good books and appear in Avengers 4. Be the post-credits scene. Please. Just see Hell's Kitchen.
Leia. Sorry, that was for the game. That was not.
Yeah, not for Hell's Kitchen. Leia.
I wonder where they would have gone in season 4 because Bullseye.
Yeah.
Is still around. Kingpin is obviously the big bad. Will he then face off against Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Maybe we'll have Maybe that'll be the third film. Will be Home Sweet Home will be.
Is that what it's called, Home Sweet Home?
Yeah, maybe it'll be Trouble in Hell's Kitchen in New York, and he needs a certain...
And that'll be the film where they appear in?
Yeah, red-suited hero to help him take down the Kingpin.
I like that pitch. I do like that pitch. We should be working for Marvel right now.
Well, I should be having a better job than I do. But, alas, I'm still here making this shite.
It's not shite.
But, so, I think... Would they continue on from the Netflix show? Because I think Jessica Jones and Punisher must be like little shitting themselves right about now.
Yeah, they are going to get cancelled. Well, I reckon my prediction is within the next 4 episodes.
Because season 3's been made, isn't it? Of Jessica Jones, I believe.
We're post-production stage, I think.
Yeah, so maybe they'll cancel that after it comes out. Because I know there was a drop in viewership supposedly on Daredevil. Maybe that's maybe that's just from because stuff like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, when that stuff has bad reception, that's going to have an effect on your other stuff, like you'd think. So maybe that was, but then there was still significant, like people were raving about it everywhere, like especially that prison fight scene.
Yeah, which was yeah.
Have you seen that bit yet?
Yes, I have seen that scene.
How good!
Fucking amazing.
The fact that just like everything, oh god,
it was just awesome, perfection.
I don't get how Daredevil's gone and Punisher's still up.
I know, considering I didn't even make it past episode 1. I mean,
I haven't even watched it yet.
Sorry, John Bernthal, you're good and all, but like,
he's amazing in Daredevil season 2.
He was. But
like that's how amazing. Like it introduced other characters and got them shows.
Yeah, I just
because that's got a second season. Like I don't know where they are on it.
I read today that they haven't even made any plans. It was like Jessica Jones, they kind of post-production. Punisher and Defenders, they kind of just done nothing with.
Well, Defenders was sort of only meant to be like an event thing, when they could go back to it later on.
They would, yeah.
But I think that's going straight to
deletion.
No, I think that's going straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
I don't want them to sort of PG-13 it. and make it all kid friendly, because that's what made the shows great. Because they deal with much more adult characters. You can have the stupid Loki show for kids.
Yeah.
But you can have all the
original
Netflix, Disney Plus shows for
the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, hardcore adults.
I think if they bring them into it, they're definitely going to connect them more to the MCU, because you have to.
Which in my mind,
which is the only thing that sort of annoyed me, because where they've been on Netflix, maybe that's why they sort of haven't bothered to draw them in.
Maybe they
because I feel like just a glimpse in Infinity War would have just like shown the scale of
Maybe they always knew, like Netflix and Disney, when they both signed on to do it. Maybe they knew that Disney were playing back then. Yeah, maybe they knew that. You can't exactly connect the dots yet because we know we're going to take it from you anyway, even if you did. Possibly. Maybe that's part of this stipulation.
It was all part of the plan.
Possibly. I mean, still Disney.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was all in, but that's kind of a shady thing because their contract for that, and they've originally had plans for like 6 seasons of Daredevil, didn't they?
6?
Yeah.
Jeez,
that's sort of like the story they wanted to do.
God. How was it going to end? I suppose they didn't obviously go into.
I think it has to. I think it would have to end with.
I did not know 6 seasons.
I think it would have to end with a fucking film, with him being either someone else's or have his own.
Yeah, just
get Charlie Cox in the MCU.
Yeah, please.
For real this time.
Yeah, come on, guys. That's the only thing like we just said. That's the only thing that the Netflix shows were missing is the fact that they were in the MCU, but they weren't.
Yeah, they were sort of adjacent. They were almost in that Sony Venom universe, slightly next to it, but they know the stuff's happening.
Earth 3.
Well, because they name dropped like Thor and all the incident as they refer to the Battle of New York constantly, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they name drop stuff like that. They'll name drop Thor, Hulk,
the big green man.
The big green guy, ever since he fell out of the sky, subtlety's last his day, like stuff like that. And he obviously had like Stan Lee pictures, which I'm kind of surprised as to he never actually did sort of a
because he wasn't in any of them,
done.
Did he? Excellent. Oh, well, there is done.
Yeah, Leia's done. So next time you die, you can just like switch to hand side off or something.
Done.
I did not know you could do that.
So after the 37 levels, you didn't know you can just click and respawn.
Han.
Han.
Whoa, Han. Whoa, Han. Because I think Daredevil especially he should have had a cameo in, because that's the one he had the most. Because he didn't create Jessica Jones. He was involved in the Defenders. It was a different lineup.
Yes, yeah. Kind of a tiny segue off slightly. I read yesterday. Guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians is getting changed. Guardians of the Galaxy. They're getting a new lineup in the comics, starting January.
Ooh.
We don't know who, but apparently they're releasing variant covers of other issues that are already out, and they're going to reveal a new Guardians of the Galaxy team.
Oh, but that's fine. It's
it's
like the X-Men, really, isn't it?
Unexpected, but I guess it's fine. Yeah.
Well, because there's not as big a roster, but there is a bigger roster of characters in there, which you've sort of got in the films coming into it with what's her face?
What is her face? There's so many
what
she's.
The fuck is her name?
There's so many she's in the MCU. So
Mantis.
Yeesh.
Mantis, and obviously Nebula then becoming more of a guardian than a bitch face.
The blue face Karen Gillan.
Yes. Karen Gillan!
Yeah, that's what I've read yesterday, so it'd be cool, but I'm curious to see if it would be characters like, say, your Deadpools, your da-da-da-da, or if it would just be new characters that we don't know and aren't that known yet. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I read.
It's hard to... Oh, well. Maybe will that tie into the film that's definitely coming out and not on hiatus because they fired James Gunn? I think Disney are making the first declaration of war.
Yeah.
Not in like the literal, but in the sense of, because streaming services. Because also when that Disney Fox deal goes through, then they have a majority stake in Hulu.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, and they announced, and Iger announced that they're going to, instead of, just have it completely absorbed by Disney Plus, that they're going to invest in Hulu.
Okay.
To try and get it worldwide like Netflix is.
I see.
Because that's like the main issue with Hulu viewership is that, it is very sort of more tied to North America than it is anywhere else.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the more accessible thing. So then, maybe have their adult shows on there, because then they'll obviously get, all the Fox stuff that they've got on Hulu and Netflix and that will all then have to be rearranged. And what are they going to put on Disney Plus and that? So maybe adult stuff on Hulu, all the kid-friendly stuff, and the brand as just Disney, like the films and that, solely on Disney Plus. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it, but that's
basically Hulu, from the sounds of it, kind of hopefully going to get their heads on and sort of fix their shit and just to get more.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that like a lot of people said about Netflix is the one that, because obviously they've spent a lot of money and they are severely in debt. They're the ones that have figured out what works and what doesn't with a streaming service, which is good, because they've sort of had, the success they had, but nothing lasts forever, as we know. Because something else will come along that's bigger or better, or just done better than that. But also means that all the mistakes that they've had to learn from the hard way, people would just come in and just go like, oh, no, we don't need to do that because Netflix has done everything. So
you just
they can come in and steal the mold and make it their own and sort of fine tune it. Which,
like, if
because that's the only thing, is that Netflix, their originals have got stronger year upon year.
Yeah, they have. Yes. Yeah,
which is the aim from the beginning, wasn't it? Because they had like a lot of IP titles that weren't theirs.
No,
it was like that was the thing, like to get people enticed, and then it's like start making their own, which they wanted, and I think they're still building towards the 90% of stuff on there just being their own stuff. Yeah, which is they've done well. Like, you can't. I mean, they're losing money, but they're still doing what they wanted to. They're still getting towards their goal, and hopefully once they reach that, then maybe it will stabilise them.
Yeesh.
But I don't hold my breath. But that's the thing with Disney, is they have such strong IP that they can put out, because they own so much.
Yeah, they
own the MCU. They own Disney Animated Classics. They own Star Wars.
The Empire and the Republic is just they're owning everything. Yeah.
It's going to be, and then it's like, because Apple are doing gearing up as well
for
their own streaming service, because they've got a Jennifer Aniston exclusive TV series that they're doing.
Oh, that's really stellar. That's really, really stellar.
Yeah, but getting like Rachel from Friends back on TV.
Oh wow!
But then the thing that's going to be with that is, will you have to solely buy Apple products to use an Apple streaming service? Because if you have to buy an Apple TV just to use an Apple streaming service.
Oh, George, you're giving them ideas.
Stop. You're going to lose a lot of viewership. Because people aren't going to buy like a...
Mate, I'm anti-Apple. I ain't going to buy an Apple just to watch that shit.
Exactly. No. That's what I'm saying. So, like, people, if you can get it on just like normal stuff, like a normal streaming service, then people are more likely to use it. If you're like, you've got to have this TV and have it like this.
Giving them ideas, though, to stop. Stop it. Giving them ideas.
But I have to think about this stuff because it hurts my head.
I know, but you're stealing people's money.
I'm stealing a force.
Yeah. I say fuck that. I hope that doesn't happen. But sorry,
it's the streaming service war is upon us, and I feel like Netflix is going to have a shock. Yeah. Because they're going to start being attacked from all sides.
Oh, all angles. Front, behind, left, right, diagonal, into diagonal. That ain't the thing. Into diagonal. You name it. Yeesh.
It's very, very strange.
Strange, you might say.
Yes. Do you want to
Do I wanna?
Do you want to go into some basic stuff about
what?
About Grindelwald? Because we're going to do a Harry Potter special next week for next Sunday's episode. Gonna try. When are you off tomorrow?
Grindelwald. When am I off tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. Next week. Fucking idiot. Can't speak.
Monday, but there could be a potential for at least a couple other days. But I'll discuss more with you off camera.
Okay. Because I'm off when. What?
There might be people listening.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No.
Oh, because I'm. Fuck's sake. Because I'm off Wednesday, so I'm going to try and pre-record because we need Christmas done.
All we kind of do. Yeah. We might as well do Easter as well. Just plan really.
Happy Easter. Nobody likes the tangerines. My God. Go on, give us a breakdown because you saw Crimes of Grindelwald. We'll do a full review
Johnny
next
Grindelwald,
week.
right.
We're going to do a Potter special. We're going to do all the Potter films, the Fantastic Beasts.
I should hopefully get the 4K set of Harry Potter. So then by the time we do that,
I need to wait until that drops in price. I want to drop.
No,
I want to drop it. I want to buy it, but it's like £80.
I know, but
Which for 8 films, £10 a film.
It ain't that bad. No. I know. I get your total point, but I say them films are good. Like as an adult, I've kind of respected Harry Potter as like the films more as I've gotten older. Like when I was little, I was like, oh, but then
I enjoyed them anyway because they were a lot of fun. But I get sort of the appeal is more sentimental to me because of I'm an old fool.
Nostalgia with a young face.
This face. Who found me this face?
But yeah, so I was gonna say Harry Potter and the Crimes of Grindelwald. No, Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Fucking Up Continuity. Out of 10, just get it out.
You're just gonna go for the rating straight away.
Yeah, I ain't telling you nothing until the review ditches. No, I'd say score-wise, the critics have just fucked up. My impressions were really low annually, and I was like, it's going to be good because we're Harry Potter nerds, but it's going to be shit because people have said it's shit. But apart from Mother getting confused at a couple things, which, if you're a fucking 5-year-old watching the film, you won't get what the film's about fully. This isn't...
Is it... I have a question before you go. Is it... Does anything happen, or is it purely just setting up the next 3?
Anything happen? I mean,
is anything significant to the overall story?
The ending, yeah. But I mean, there's a little thing about it. But
yes. That's the thing we debated before we pressed record last week, just to make sure we didn't piss anyone off. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
Remember who you are.
No.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's Lion King. We can talk about that as well, but not yet.
Where was I? Yes,
it's
basically better than fault. Critics are shit. Don't listen to critics. If you're a fan, see the film. The ending. Yeah,
fans will see it anyway, won't they?
Yeah, but it actually generally is good.
All the potheads.
That's offensive, George. You can't call them that. The Muggles. All the Muggles will see it. Us for common Muggles. No, but it is. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, obviously see it. But then I would highly recommend.
If you're a fan of Harry Potter, you've probably seen it.
See the first one on rewatch because I kind of forgot what the first film was a little bit about. Because all I remember is him going, "Oh, look, Cujo out of my suitcase," and he basically the first one he just chases his fucking magic animals out of his fucking bag. That's basically the first film. Whereas this one,
I thought you talked about Harry Potter.
Well, it doesn't fucking matter which one. They're all the same.
Kill Lando. Sorry.
Ish. Better than the first one, better than I thought. The ending is a bit of a what the fuck moment, but there's a bit of an ongoing debate, and whatever you do, don't search the internet because you'll get it spoiled. And
I think I know what that is. Yeah, we know what that is.
Yeah, it's
how's that handled? Because you obviously went into that with the context of knowing that bit.
Yeah,
does it make sense in terms of the story, or is it sort of still a bit of a what?
It is a little bit, no, because it isn't really alluded to at all. I mean, Dumbledore, Jude Law himself isn't really in it. He's in it for a good few scenes.
Well, that's because he's going to be in the rest of them.
Because it's hashtag set up.
Well, because the last one's going to be the battle where he ends up taking the Elder One or something. And then he goes to prison.
Where he kills Johnny Depp. Sorry.
No, he doesn't. He goes to prison because he's in prison in Deathly Hallows, isn't
he? Yeah, I forgot that.
It lies with him, buried in the earth.
It definitely,
And Voldemort's like, where's your wand, bastard?
Bitch. No, but the ending is a bit of a sudden thing, but because I already knew it, and I kind of spoiled it for myself before the film, unfortunately, I couldn't.
That was our fault, wasn't it?
I could not see it, that's the thing.
But did it... Were you still sort of a bit like, that doesn't make sense in any way?
Not really. I really do want to see the next one just to see if they actually do make continuity-wise or chronologically, whatever, make it make sense. Yeah, exactly. Rather than just be like, it happens because it happens.
Yeah, it happens because we need money.
Yeah, I'm sorry, JK, if you're listening to this, but
I'm not. I'm not. She's loaded.
See, she's with us right now.
She's so rich. I threw my.
See, she's the symbiote that's making George cough.
All
I'll say is you can't introduce an idea whilst trying to make it establish an old connection from Potter.
Yeah, so trying to make continuity fit into an old
even from your books, and you're suddenly going...
Because it basically fits into the Harry Potter continuity, or is meant to.
It is.
Because it links to
to
important things.
It does. It links to...
characters, you might say.
Yeah.
Don't fucking say that.
I'm sorry, they're Dumbledore.
It's all Dumbledore.
It's all Dumbledore. Jude
Spoilers
Law
next
is the
week.
key.
Jude Law is the key to all this. If we make Dumbledore work, and the prequel trilogy will be amazing.
No, I'll say Dumbledore's... See, JK, stop it. We're talking too much.
She's having me killed. Expecto Patronum.
Spells are cool. There's a couple of new ones. I can't think of their names, but they're fucking cool.
Barry. Can I ask this?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Would you deem Jude Law's performance as an extended cameo rather than a guest spot in the thing?
Extended cameo? Yes, because he has some role at the beginning, and then
has some role at the end, and then they're like, we're gonna revisit him later.
No, he's in the beginning, and then when the film... Yeah, JK, stop it! Stop it! You're next. You're next.
Anyway,
okay. Stop it, JK. Look, if you don't want me to talk, just tell me now, but don't kill George.
Yeah, carry on.
Beginning, then Hogwarts. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't seen the trailer, what the fuck are you doing? Hogwarts is in the film, and that's probably the biggest connection to the Potterverse.
And Dumbles. And old Dumbledore.
And Dumbles.
And old Dumbles.
Newt's background is explored. A new character that was hinted at the first film is in this film.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's better than, like, a lot better than I was expecting.
You missed.
No, I didn't. No, it was good, but there were some questionable things.
Yeah, it's probably obviously not the best film in the Potter universe you're ever going to see.
No, most of it is probably set up like you say. Yeah. Thinking of it, it will pay off hopefully in the end.
As long as it pays off, I don't mind being confused.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I lived through like 7 years of Moffat Who. Like, I don't mind being confused as long as it pays off. And then he stopped doing that. He stopped paying it off. Like, why did the TARDIS blow up? Oh, yeah, well, I'm sure we'll find out one day when they jam it into my last episode in the last 5 minutes. Oh, so that too blew up the TARDIS. Tom the Doctor still fucking annoys me. No,
but the actors themselves, Eddie Reddy.
How is Eddie? Because the main concern I had, Connor,
go ahead.
You know, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is the textbook that Hermione reads in. I don't remember exactly what book it is because I haven't reread the Harry Potter books in years. Don't jump down my throat, Potterheads. We're calling them Potterheads from now on.
Potterheads. Yeah.
So, like, I know that's why when the film came out, I was like, they're basing a book off of a textbook.
They're basing a book off of... It's Bookception.
Yeah, book off a textbook in a book that she wrote. But then she wrote the screenplay. Which is a fun little thing. I expected more of, like, finding creatures, like, it's almost like animal scavenger hunt. I expected more of that instead of...
being old.
And then, because I thought it was just going to be one film. And I was like, I don't mind, like, a cheeky little revisit to the Potter universe. Because the Harry Potter universe is fun.
It is.
I mean, it's depressing rewatching the movies now because it just gets darker and darker and darker. Then everybody dies, and then and then Harry names his son Albus Severus.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
The kid who plays him in that scene at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the one that played him as a baby.
Is it? Well, grown up?
Philosopher's Stone. Yeah.
Shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, talk about continuity. That's cool.
Quite sweet. I didn't need to do that. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
So the thing that I was confused with most is like,
well done, Jacob.
The Fantastic Beasts film very much felt like a one-off, or let's call it a Phantom Menace to the Harry Potter thing. It was like a little prequel thing. Doesn't really
mean too much
because when they come out and said that because it was going to be a trilogy, and then JK said there's 5, which like that's good, but then it was almost like this main story we knew was going to be, the growing sort of like the change from friends to enemies of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and like the start of the first almost attempt at a Muggle and Wizard war, that kind of thing. So we knew. So then immediately, that means Newt and the characters that we spent a lot of time with and had a lot of fun with in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, because it is silly. it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like then it became like, oh, well, was that all a waste then? Because we've come to know these characters, and they sort of aren't really going to fit into that story. So are they? So my question is this: does it feel like? Does it feel right that they're in the story? Like, does it make sense for them to be there, or is it just these were the ones in the last one, so let's just put them back in because we've sort of invested in this now. We have to get our money's worth out of Eddie Redmayne.
I kind of want to say a combination of both because I say the tone of the film, like I say, the first one is basically, oh look, animals out of my suitcase,
and like, magic rhino that gets the horn.
75% of that film is him running around chasing his fucking animals, whereas this one completely changes tone. It's him trying to stop a war between two wizards.
Well, they just go flat out for that.
Basically, because it kind of
the war's already stopped. I thought the war was going to build up, and then it would be like.
Well, no, I think everyone knows Grindelwald is around. Well, by the end they definitely do. The people are aware of Grindelwald. Dumbledore finds Newt at the beginning. He's basically like, look, shit's happened. Remember this old guy I used to fall in love with? Remember this prick that,
because from ages ago? Because they actually put in the thing of... They actually put in the relationship of Grindelwald and...
It was alluded to, but they never outright said that they were together.
But then it's better to allude to it rather than because that's sort of like the... Jesus, stop stroking me. Because in the trailer, they sort of it was almost like played it as they weren't going to... You're doing Random Hero.
Sorry.
Chewie, fuck it.
Oh, yeah, Chewie then. Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
they weren't gonna mention it at all, which I think is worse.
No, exactly.
But then they sort of
did that.
They did that edit when they had him doing the scene with the Mayor of Erised and seeing Grindelwald.
That's it. Yeah. No, it's very much most of Dumbledore's scene when he's not interacting with other characters is him thinking of Grindelwald. You see a lot of comparison shots with
a bit
Dumbledore and then Grindelwald.
Oh, so almost like mirroring, but then
exactly mirroring. Yes.
But he's not doing anything. Because whereas it would be like Grindelwald's doing this and Dumbledore's doing this, whereas it's just like Dumbledore going, I miss Grindelwald.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't outright say, remember the time when me and Grindelwald were underneath the Hogwarts tree and held hands and...
Started bumming each other.
Started playing with our...
Sausages.
Started playing with our Richter and Zephyrus. Our Expectum Patronums.
Jesus Christ.
No. Stuff is alluded to, and it's up for the viewer and the reader, depending on what context you're looking at it. Like, it's depending on the person who's watching the film. Yeah. It's like imagination. Unless, in the other ones, they really do go and explore it. But all I'd say is, the ending of this film, like you say, it's a trilogy, then it's 5 films. If the third film ends like the way this one does, I'd be a bit more worried and I'd be a bit more critical.
As if they don't know where it's going? Is that the impression that you have?
A little bit. A tiny tad bit. Because it was kind of abrupt. I was really into it, and basically they have one big fight, but the one main big action scene which goes on for about 40, half hour, 25 minutes. But like a reviewer said, it was quite low risk. The film is very dramatic, very tense, whereas the first film was very, oh look, let's go in my suitcase and explore and find my magical animals. This film is very, look, Johnny Depp's around, we got to stop him before he kills us all. Dumbledore, Newt, you are the chosen one. You must, stop Grindelwald. Whereas they only fight once at the end, and then
is that Newt and Grindelwald? Or is that Grindelwald and Dumbledore?
Newt and Grindelwald plus everyone else. Because it is a big fight scene.
Oh, so like a Ministry of Magic thing?
Pretty much, yeah. You kind of guessed it yourself. Yeah,
sort of like how Order of the Phoenix was?
Kind of, yeah, but not as good.
It's not going to be as good as Order of the Phoenix. It's amazing.
Yeah, because that was built up. Yeah, sorry.
Without even think about it, what's your favourite Harry Potter film?
Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the one that comes out of my mind. Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban. It's probably the one I watched the most.
I just love the tone change from
from
you get them first two of Columbus and then you get that sort of thing, and you get unfortunately Michael Gambon having to replace Richard Harris, but apart from that you get just sort of like this sort of almost like breath of fresh air in it, even though you're only like 3 films in.
Yeah, he's the one where things go.
Well, I think the only one I don't like. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I think I find the first half of Deathly Hallows really boring.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Because there is,
same with the gun.
Yeah,
but,
and then because I I used to obviously watch them a lot as a kid because I'm, a nerdy little bastard. Which
isn't?
we'll get more into next week.
Who
not
isn't
just
nowadays?
me.
Who isn't?
But, like, we'll get more into Harry Potter. But I just say like this that I wore out my fucking DVD copy of old Chamber of Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do the thing with like before a new one would come out, I'd either like rewatch them or like
Yeah.
And like my mum would always watch the first one.
Uh-huh.
She never she would dip in and out of like because they're always on like a Sunday now or something, or like over Christmas they'll have them on like on the
or
old
if you're on
television.
Sky, they'll have like a Harry Potter channel for like a week.
Yeah, and like but she only really watched the last two and the first one were her main ones. Like she dipped in and out of like other ones because I always used to go to the cinema see it with my dad, and then like she was always like I went to see the last one with her, but so she had to rewatch that, and she was like, oh, she even got the sort of the implication of the whole story, but she was like, but she also felt like, it seemed like a lot of setup for the second part, which is obviously was then just like a lot of spells that Deathly Hallows is more action and more sort of like full throttle, whereas you've got a good like 2 hours of just like this one Horcrux, and then suddenly they find like 3 or so in like the second part, didn't they?
Speaking of connections, that's one thing I think I appreciated was the actual Easter eggs and references. Like, if you know your stuff about Potter, you'll be
What's your favourite Harry Potter reference in Fantastic Beasts that you can divulge that isn't that much of a spoiler?
Well, if I say it's a spoiler, but he doesn't really do a lot until the end. But Nicholas Flamel.
Yes, I heard he's in
the
it.
Philosopher's Stone.
Do you see the Philosopher's Stone?
Only for like a split second. It's in his safe. You actually do see it in full HD.
How old is he meant to be? Because what is it? He makes a reference to something like 600 or something years old. I want to say in Philosopher's Stone.
I can't really think, but I remember is Daniel Radcliffe going Nicholas Flamel. Nicholas has
enough elixir to get his affairs in order.
All I remember is them talking about Nicholas Flamel and the Philosopher's Stone, and he said it's so slow in that fucking voice that it's sort of programmed in my head. But it's nice to actually see him and seeing the stone. Like, say, Mum didn't get it, but I went, Mum, that's from the first film. Like, I was like, Mum, Nicholas fucking Flamel.
Reference.
Even she was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, she didn't realise it, but once I told her, she was like, oh shit.
Yeah, once I told her what it was, she was like, oh yes. What else could it have been?
No, but I mean, out of all the fucking things you reference, I was like, oh,
that's a nice little thing.
It is. It's just unexpected.
Is there any other nice references in there?
So you've got Hogwarts, you've got Dumbledore. I mean, he's the biggest fucking reference of them all.
I mean that's not really a reference.
He's
that's
a
just a
character.
Member. That's not like they go, oh, Dumbledore.
Yeah, no.
Dumbledore being referenced in the first one is a reference, and they go, what is it that makes Albus Dumbledore so fond of you?
McGonagall is funny. I mean,
even though she's in it 8 years before she's born.
Continuity fuck up. But she's only in like 2 scenes.
Is she? How old is she in it? Please say like early 20s or something.
Yeah, she is. She's really young in it. She's really young,
That's
really young.
Sort of the only way you can get around her not being born.
But then the theory might be because even I saw 10 unanswered questions about the new film.
Please don't say you think that that's her mum.
Well, not me, but people think that.
Because McGonagall is Minerva McGonagall's married name.
Sorry, people. With
George,
I don't agree with you.
No, but I want to say this. Like, I get that you're trying to fix it,
but that's what most websites are.
But like, McGonagall is Professor McGonagall, as in proper Professor McGonagall's married name.
Yes.
It's not her maiden name.
Yeah, that's what I say. Unless they introduced a character who
unless they've got a character who's somehow
to be McGonagall's name.
Yeah.
Maiden name.
Yeah, because you couldn't have that be McGonagall's maiden name because that's a married name. So like,
I see. Yeah,
I see why people try and fix it, but don't.
Yeah.
For the love of God, don't.
But I mean, in terms of the major criticism being they fucked up the timeline, I mean, she's only in like 2 scenes. She's in it for about 2 minutes of screen time.
But you know what fandoms are like. We're in most of them.
Unfortunately, yeah.
You know what people are like. So
what the internet expect, and yeah. Don't worry, I'm a hard critic myself, but I was just.
Did you find it disconcerting about her being in it? And
no, I didn't really care. I thought it was funny more than anything. I was like, but she didn't. She literally said about 4 lines, and that was it.
Oh, maybe
she weren't she weren't worth it.
Maybe it will work out in future films.
Yeah, no, I think she will. She needs a bigger role in order for her to become relevant. Because why would they even mention McGonagall's in the film, but she only says about 4 lines?
But then, like, it's also like,
move,
why would you have the big thing about Jude Law being in it and then he's not really in it? Because we know that it's going to
Yeah.
build up to him and Grindelwald facing off. If it's still Johnny Depp.
Somehow, yeah. It's,
How is he?
right.
How is old Johnny?
He's actually really good. Like, I was really impressed with him. He was actually really cool and quite menacing in it. Just the way he talks and the way he like, there's a bit of a motivation. Like, do you remember Tina from the first film?
Yeah, Tina Goldstein.
Okay, so you even know the names.
It's only because I rewatched it the other day because I was like, what the fuck did happen in that film?
And that's literally me before I saw the new one. She has a chat with Grindelwald. Grindelwald goes, blah, 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 spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. But if you'll do this for me, you can be with your true love.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what the conversation is alluding to. And then it very much, with it instant,
is that true love
she's
now?
with her. No. It's Kowalski. Jacob.
Oh, you mean Queenie? Queenie Goldstein.
Yes, yeah, Queenie, not Tina.
Because Tina's the one who fancies me.
The blondie, yeah. Sorry.
Oh. So he uses his, like, you know,
charm and...
Like, if you support my cause, then you can marry who you want.
And then, like, even in the first film, and then looking at her in the second film at the beginning, she's very much like, oh, no,
She's still sort of
she's cool,
ditzy.
sort of good. Not as
Is she just sort
Everyone isn't, though. That's the thing. Like, they've sort of lost a bit of the first film because I thought it was too fancy, too comedic, too fun. Whereas they have gone already, second film, and they've gone for a lot of the, not necessarily darker, but serious tone.
which you kind of feel like you got to build to. Like, you feel like do you feel like this should have been the middle, like the third film in 5, like building to this as the midpoint and like knowing where your end goal is, rather than we've got 3 more films to film. How do we do it?
No, because to be honest, if this second film was very much like the first one, I probably wouldn't have been as excited to see it. But because the way this film was advertised and just reading about it and just wanting to see it because of how shit it was meant to be, and then actually being surprised watching it and how good it was in a way. No, because if it was very, oh look, we're going on our suitcase tour part 2, I'd have been, no, sorry, I give up.
This is my brother's suitcase.
Exactly. You had my suitcase.
Because his brother's in it, old Newt Scamander.
He is. I say he's in it more than Dumbledore. But
That's not saying much.
He doesn't say much. I don't know. Everyone's in it, but they don't.
They're
do
not really
too
in it.
much. Yeah, they don't do too much.
But they're not really in it.
There's like, I'm trying to think. He hugs Newt at one point because he's like, "Oh, brother, you're back." Like, but then the bit I didn't know going into the film was that Newt's brother and Lita the Strange, or Newt's old flame from Hogwarts.
Yeah.
They obviously had. It's like a 3-way love triangle.
Yeah.
Yet he's in love with Tina from the first film.
A bit of a triangle with another line next to it.
Almost a quad triangle, if that's the thing. Almost a square. But it's one of them. Tina isn't really in it. Out of all the characters I wanted to see Tina, even she wasn't in it. She looked like a Sith Lord. I thought she was going to go evil. Just the way she was portrayed.
But then maybe that was too obvious, so that's why they chose their sister. That's sort of more easily manipulated.
Yeah, exactly. But even
but
though
we don't know,
at a character,
which we'll go in depth to.
Even though when you look at a character, you wouldn't necessarily agree with it. But I mean, fuck it, it's a film. They've got, like you say, they've got to film 3 more. But
we've managed to stay vague. While
yeah,
still doing detail. That's very good for you. I mean, you're getting really good at this.
Somehow, I don't know how, but
I would go into Robin Hood, but I don't have time to sort of break down how.
Was it good or?
It is. It's we've decided that 2018 is the year of films that are so bad that they're just good. Fun, and that is what Robin Hood is, because you just like there was some. I can't believe it was a 12A because you see Jamie Foxx's character, spoiler, gets his hand cut off. Who is playing John? He's playing Little John, but his real name's Yanya. But in your language, it means John. I mean, the fact that he's meant to be an Arab with a American accent, still, I don't get that. You see the villain, the Sheriff of Nottingham, get hanged. You see beheadings. You see a lot of stuff where you think, Jesus, is this actually a 12A? But it's just it's so stupid. Like, I will go in depth with this next episode just because we physically don't have time for me to. Like, I want to break it down for you. But because you've got an unlimited card, go and see it. Because I guarantee you will have so much. Like, yeah, you were disappointed by the Meg, but this you will actually have a lot of fun with.
Oh, okay.
Like, for real, it is great. Like, not like amazing, not like one of the best films you ever see, but you'll just feel like, what the fuck have I just watched?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's brilliant. Brilliant fun. Taron Egerton is great, but then we kind of knew that. I can't wait to see him in Rocket Man, which comes out early next year, I want to say. Also, I want to sort of clarify a mistake that I made, because for some reason, because I'd read it from somewhere else, that it was the Guy Ritchie Robin Hood, when it's not.
No.
It's not. I don't know. Oh, something. Like, because I read it somewhere, and then I was like, why the fuck have I keep calling it the Guy Ritchie Robin Hood? But yeah, I apologise. That's my mistake. I'm apologising to the audience, not to you.
No, don't worry. I'm not offended.
Fuck
I'm
you!
not offended in the slightest.
But yeah, a lot of fun. You'll enjoy. It's Robin Hood. Shoot, they do a nice little bit in the Crusades, because that's sort of like, because it starts off with like him being, because obviously we know that Robin of Locksley, you know that sort of basic. You know, if you know the Robin Hood tale, you've heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, you know about Robin.
Yeah, I know vaguely about.
Yeah, so it starts off with him, and then he gets called up to the Crusades, which was like, I was in the cinema, pleasantly surprised. Oh, we're going to see a bit of him actually like fighting in the Crusades, because that's quite cool. But then it just gets stupid from there, because they have like the what's it like? They're like crossbows, but one of them they make massive and like a machine gun, because it just fires off millions of arrows, and you're like, oh, it's
unrealistic.
Then you're like, oh, it's this kind of film. But no, a lot of fun. If you haven't seen Robin Hood, go and see it. I will give an in-depth review, either in episode 22 or a pre-recorded future
23.
thing. It'll be like 26. Christmas will be 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's 6 fucking months. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're shooting off in a bit to go and see Creed 2. So I feel like a Rocky episode's incoming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I want that in 4K as well. Like, where's that? There's so many releases that have come out.
If we have time and whatever work implications mean that you have more time off, maybe we could pre-record a Rocky special.
That'd be cool. I'd have to somehow rewatch them, but yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll go through them. We'll go through Creed. We'll do a full review of Creed 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing obviously Grindleshite, so we're doing the Harry Potter thing next week. My cousin wants to come on the podcast. She's a very big Harry Potter fan.
Oh, okay.
So we'll make space.
Cool.
So there'll either be 3 voices or 4. Or 9 million.
Is it the 4th being Matt?
No, so depending on where my sister is, because she'll have something to say. She saw Grindelwald. She was pleasantly surprised. Also,
yeah, but in a good way or bad?
In good. She was expecting bad.
Cool.
She said, it's a lot of fun. You'll probably enjoy it.
Exactly, it is enjoyable. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Wreck-It Ralph's out now, so I'm seeing that Sunday. I mean, if you
yeah, no, I would.
Depending on what time we go, like if you're available, you're obviously welcome. Yes. Shall we get into a bit of Doctor Who before we go? Because all right, yes, we've got enough time. So, do you want to do your quick? You have a problem. So
big BBC. Fucked up.
Anyone who knows us knows how big Doctor Who fans we are. We've talked.
I mean, 80% of
what we talk about is Doctor Who, and so we've talked about our DVD collections. Excuse me, that are growing, and then we've gone into the Blu-ray collection that you are still on the hunt for. Tom Baker.
Tommy season 12.
Season 12 with Tom. And next, it's the 10th that season 19. As long as that doesn't get delayed again. And they announced and put up a pre-order the next box set in the thing, in the collection. And it is Tom Baker's final season 18. Season 18, he doesn't really give a shit. Connor, you have a lot of views on it. Go.
Why? I'm sorry, but season 19, great first season. Season 12, probably the best season of Doctor Who.
Most recognisable of classic Who, probably.
Stop taking my lines.
Sorry.
Season 18, crappy finale. Worse than, I want to say, Twice Upon a Time even, of a season. I mean, I know Twice Upon a Time isn't a season, but just worse finale for a Doctor. He didn't give a shit. John Lever-Turner didn't give a shit. The only thing cool was the title sequence and the theme. That series. It's just such a bad list of stories. Why would you prioritise them in HD before the likes of I'll say Genesis of Daleks. That's in season 12.
Yeah, I've got that one.
I can't think.
Did you
of
just
insert
expect?
name here?
Did you expect first season of Another Doctor?
Probably, yeah. Season 22. Colin Bay. I could have pictured Colin on the cover going,
Yeah, with his like.
I could have pictured Colin.
Or Sylvester. I imagine they were going to go
maybe.
that way because like I've said to you, I feel like because Spearhead from Space is already out in Blu-ray, they're sort of holding off on
Series 7.
Season 7. But I really want them to get onto John because I want Season 8 so
I
bad.
don't like exactly. Yeah, Series 8.
Season 8 is probably one of my favourite seasons of Classic Who. But what I will say about Season 18, as much as we're unhappy with it, you know my theory if they're just going to like try and bash through Tom's season by doing like season of Tom, Peter's first season of Tom, maybe Colin's first season, and so on, because he has 7 seasons, so they'll have
pretty lengthy.
Like all of his seasons plus the other Doctor's first season. It also shows they're gonna, like I said to you, hold off on old Troughton and Hartnell. I reckon you could do a Hartnell first season because the only one you're missing is Marco Polo.
And
the thing that's going to take the longest is fucking season 4.
Because there's what? There's only one. What story from that?
Smugglers is not because it's got the last 2 of Hartnell as well. So it's got Smugglers doesn't exist.
No.
Most of 10th Planet does.
Yeah.
So you're all right there. So you'd have to. You're still recreating a few episodes. Power exists in animated form.
Highlanders.
That's about it, really. Yeah. Is that it for his first season?
Oh, Google. Series 4. Let's just look up Series 4. I think you're right there. I want to make sure.
So I think they will leave hit. They've got to leave Troughton till last because Troughton has the most miss. But then with Troughton he's got the most whole serials missing, like just in its entirety.
He does. It would be nice if they did some sort of animated like.
I think if they don't find anything, they'll animate all of them because they'll have to for the collection.
They would, and for fucking anal BBC fans, that will never.
I mean, they've already messed up the modern series one so many times.
Season 4 is 10th Planet, Powder Daleks, Underwater Menace.
Smugglers is in there as well. Oh, you're on missing episodes, yeah.
No, season 4.
Series
3.
Smugglers is 100%.
The DVD releases, fucking serials.
That's why you're on DVD releases. You didn't go on serials. Go back on the other one and go on serials.
I didn't fuck up.
Idiot.
Serials. All right, yeah. Smugglers.
Thank you.
10th Planet. Powder Daleks. Highlanders. Underwater Menace. Moonbase. Macra Terror. How long is this series?
Well, they used to be really long, didn't they?
I didn't know. I thought it was like say Smugglers up to Underwater Menace. Sorry, I'm into it.
I know. It's fine.
I didn't know it went up to. Didn't know it went up to Evil the Daleks though.
Yeah.
That is a lot of work.
It is a lot. There's a lot of work for them to do. But I will say, quick point, it's not Tom Baker's worst season.
What, season 18?
I don't think it's his worst season.
What, 17 you would have said, or 16?
I think 16's dull.
Let's have a look.
15, I think's quite sketchy. That's when sketchy Doctor Who starts, I think.
Season...
Because there's some good stuff in Key to Time, but then it's like it doesn't really have a payoff. And I think season 17 mostly is boring to shit, apart from City of Death, and that's about it. Horns of Armor I enjoy just because it's stupid, but apart from that, you don't really have a good story apart from City of Death in that season.
Let's have a look. I really do want to see this. Series 12, we all know, is like the orgasmic.
It's the orgasmic one.
The love and heart and soul Doctor Who at that time, forever.
Yeah, forever and ever.
Epic series that is.
Amen.
Series 13 is
because I thought they would go to season 13 and then 14, because then you would have all of Tom and Liz.
The highlight. Oh yeah, good old Liz as well. No, it would have been like the high bit of Doctor Who era. That's the bit that you would. If they ain't gonna, I still have a feeling that just because of budget reasons or marketing, or just because they just fucking give up at some point, they won't release every single season. Although the idea is that they're going to at some point, but I just can't.
I think they'll get there because I think
somehow
the fans like us
years to come.
Oh, I think it will take years because what they said they've got the budget for 3 a year.
Yeah, it will take at least 326, and it started this year, and they've released
2. They've done 2 this year. So then that means do 24
times by 2.
24 times by 3, because that's the ones you have left.
Exactly, yeah, 3. Maths, people, leave it in the comments.
So 24 divided by 3.
24 divided by 3. Yeah, all right. 24. 24 divided by 3. 8.
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
That's enough time to do all of the missing ones.
True, yeah.
Then you make the last 2 years the classic Doctors. You do like 3 seasons of old Billy Hartnell and then 3 seasons of old Patty Troughton.
Yeah.
And you're fantastic.
I suppose you could. Yeah, I suppose you could. But we probably would have had like 3 other Doctors by then, who knows?
Probably would have been cancelled.
In 8 years. No, you can't say that.
Well, yeah, Jodie's probably leaving. Yeah.
I
don't think that rumour's true. I think they would have come out and said it by now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think she's got too much to gain. I think this. Should we make some points on Witchfinders? You're gonna still pre-order season 18? Just because you don't want to miss out again.
Exactly. That's literally the reason I do it. I don't give a shit. I've got all.
I'm doing it out of spite for myself as well.
Yeah.
Just because I hate myself, I'm like, oh, I'll just keep buying it.
I don't know. I haven't seen none of Series 18 yet. I've got them all. I own them all because I've got the complete DVDs, but I just have not.
Do you want a fun fact?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
That
make it fun.
Adric is the first companion. He will be the first companion to have all of his adventures on Blu-ray.
Holy shit! Yeah, because
season 18 when he appears, and then he dies in Earthshot.
Spoiler if you didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
So we've already got one companion done.
We've got a 0.2% of Doctor Who done.
And then we get like the introduction of Tegan.
Yeah.
As annoying as she is, like she's funny.
Yeah.
She's better in like Snake Dance and Kinder. Should we go into Witchfinders before we leave? Because we literally got to go soon.
How many? What time? Oh shit. Yeah.
Well, there's still half an hour for the advert, so it'll be fine by the time we get there.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
You know how long the adverts take to start. It's because, if you haven't guessed, we're going to see Creed right after this ends. So, Witchfinders, what did you think?
It was alright, it was good. Bit slow. When the Doctor became the witch, I sort of thought, unpredictable. Like we said for weeks, she was going to be accused of the witch.
And then Doctor, and then she's... Every Doctor seems to have bloody met Houdini.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, they always reference it.
Unfortunately, wet weekend with Houdini.
Yeah.
Well, the best one is like when Donna's like, oh, yeah, you must have met Houdini or something. When like they're handcuffed with the Ood and that. It's like,
Yeah, that's like the One Big Finish spin-off they've not made yet.
Well, they're making the Rose Tyler one.
I know. I mean, that's something, but I mean, I'm not. It's a bit random.
Do you? I loved Alan Cumming as King James. My God,
what a guest star!
That was fun.
Yeah, he was cool.
Guest star of the series. I want him to come back. Someone said, I don't remember who, they want... It's just, I keep struggling to... I watch so much shit. So, like, if I'm saying what you said to people, like, I'm sorry, but I'm making sure I claim that this isn't my own. That they want it to be, like, the relationship between 13 and King James to be, like, 11's relationship with Churchill.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, have it as a recurring character. Like, they go off on the wrong foot but be friends.
Yeah, so maybe it will be like another Big Finish because Churchill keeps appearing in the audios as of late and has met more than just the 11th.
Churchill appears in everything.
I
love the sort of overzealous campiness. Like, here's a witch, which you needed in the story like that because it's sort of like, it's ridiculous. Like, here's a witch, burn the witch. Like when he burns the witch, like when he like sets fire to the mud aliens. I think the aliens were a bit boring and a bit one note.
No, yeah.
And as people have said on Twitter, Series 11 doesn't really have a lot of rewatchability value because there is no arc. The characters haven't really changed.
Nope.
So it is really sort of basic for maybe just getting the ratings and hopefully Series 12 because we know that Chibnall likes to sort of fine-tune everything. So hopefully Series 12 and the New Year special with the magic scarf.
Yeah, good old scarves.
Scarves are cool.
Next thing you know, she'll offer randoms and stuff.
Do you want a wang on?
Do you want a fruit pastel?
But alas, yeah, I enjoy. I is another average to good
Solid.
one for me.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fun dialogue. I've enjoyed the non-Chibnall episodes more than the Chibnall episodes.
Yeah, which is what we said.
Apart from, well, no, because Rosa technically was more Mallory Blackman than him. I'd say the one I've enjoyed of his the most is.
Yeah, it says a lot.
I would probably say at the moment, depending on how finale goes, I would say Ghost Monument. I probably enjoyed the most just because But he could have done a lot more with that format.
He really could have, yeah. Don't know.
But we're close to the end of Series 11.
I
I can't wait for us to do in-depth episode reviews.
Yeah, because another
'Cause
excuse to watch this.
You have a lot to say. And I have a lot to say.
Yeah, all I'll say, Series 12 is the icebreaker as to whether I'm
Can it work?
going to be around to keep watching the show. I love, because this season has been very
Up and down.
hit and miss, very heart-wrenching, very disappointing, but very emotional at the same time, because it's just like, this isn't the same shit we're used to watching. But then I know that's with every fucking Doctor, because I didn't watch Matt Smith for years until recently, so I know very naive, but it's 2 or 3 years time we'll look back at this and think, what are we talking about? She's the fucking greatest ever.
I think
She's got the coolest stories.
hopefully the best is yet to come.
I really fucking do. Otherwise I might not be here.
What do you mean, what, you won't be on the podcast?
Well, not even more than that, George. It depends how bad it is. I don't know.
It'll be so bad that you'll just end your life. Don't do that, kids.
Life will end for me.
Well, on that happy note,
on that. Very
we're going to go
sour
watch
happy
Creed
note.
2.
Yeah.
Bye. At Pacey Sheep on socials, links below. I'll probably try and promote this one actually on time, but they come out on time, so it's fine because I'm more organised. Emails, nobubblecontact@gmail.com. Please, somebody, for the love of Christ, we'll see you next week for the Harry Potter special.
Expelliarmus.
Expecto your gonads.